So, we talked a little bit about in the first three videos, talk a little bit about what I did as a child between 1 and and 6. Um, there are some things that happen. I grew up with three sisters. The one that I fought with more is the one that I followed. Her name is Sharon, and Sharon is deceased. She died in 2013. Sharon was when she grew up. She grew up as a tomboy. Sharon could throw rocks farther than me. Could climb tree better than me. She could do most things better than me as a girl doing boy things. And but I guess probably because I wasn't as developed as she was, but she developed real quickly. And there was a mango tree. I don't know if you guys know anything about mango. Mango is just the whole season of mango is not just reminiscent. It is it is a special moment in time that everybody looks forward to. So there are two mango trees in my neighborhood that always stay very, very clear in my mind. One is still standing today. It's a stringy mango tree. And that stringy mango tree is across the street from where I grew up in that tenement yard. As it's this big yard, we call it Aunt Dar yard, right? We play bass and cricket and just races and everything in that yard. Right next to that yard, to the east of it, is a banana walk. And then there's a little space right there at the end of the edge of the banana walk where when they chop bananas, they would come and put it down there and cover it with banana trash. And then the truck would come and pick up the banana and carry it to boxing plants, right? And so we used to play in that area a lot. But there was this one big mango tree. And when I went back there recently, the mango tree was still there. And it was bearing just as it was back when I was a little boy. And this mango tree has something special on it. It has a duck ant's nest, a really big duck ant's nest, right? I'm not going to talk about the duck ant's nest. I've never had any problems with it. What I'm going to talk about is what me and Sharon. Am I talking Patois or am I talking English? I don't know. But what I'm going to talk about is an experience with Sharon and I. Sharon, my older sister, the one that I followed. So it's the beginning of the mango season, and you know that as long as there is a stringy mango tree in your community that's visible to everybody, the one thing that everybody looks for when the mangoes are green is the one ripe one that's going to bust the first time. It's always up on top, at the top of the tree. It's probably because it has more sunlight and more of everything else that will allow it to ripe quicker. But that one mango, that one single mango normally is the eye catcher for everybody who passes. And so Sharon and I saw the first mango. Now the bad things about seen the first mango is that you have to throw rocks at it because you can't climb the mango tree. It's too big. You're a little youth. And the bad thing is by throwing rocks, you are, in order to get to that one ripe mango, you have to lick down whole heap of green one. All right? But who cares? That the mango tree, they bear mango on top of mango, a lot of mangoes. And so We went over and started throwing rocks. Her and I alone. Because we saw the pretty. We call it pretty, right? We saw the pretty on top. And we started throwing rocks at it. So whomever hits it first gets the right mango. Unless somebody wants to be dishonest. Me lick on the mango. Me Leo Gilling use my rock and lick down the mango. And I dashed off to get the mango after me lick it down. And me beat Sharon to the mango. Alright? Because she dashed off to get the mango too. So, but she's being dishonest. Bigger sister being dishonest. But because me knows me lick it, me run. And me catch the mango. And me run with the mango, man. And that girl, Sharon, you see, one cut the righteous over me eye. Righteous up. I'm running with the mango. Because me get it, me say, yeah, me get pretty, and me run. And me gone, going towards me yard now. And Sharon starts throwing rocks at me. So I turn around, noticing that she had a couple of rocks past me. And me turn around and see one rock coming out of her hand. So me duck. The first thing you do is when somebody throw a rock at you, me duck right in a rock. Right? Well, big cut right as well. Ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you, we got Dr. Pat. Miss Lars. My mom wasn't there. I don't know where my mom was. She may have gone to Kingston. And Miss Lars was my second mom. She grabbed me up, man, and carried me down. Rolled me down to Dr. Pat. I got stitches in the cut. I don't even remember it sometimes, see? Did they write this still? Cut right through my brows. That girl Sharon wicked, you see? Jesus. And she ramp rough. I mean, me, a little boy, Sharon ramp rough with me, man. Anyway, still love her. I miss her. I miss her a lot. She died of complications from breast cancer. So last month, I celebrated both her birthday and Breast Cancer Awareness Month to represent my sister, Sharon. So, one of the most beautiful sight anybody can ever see is the beauty of banana boats, tugboats, barges, what they call them again, launches. They call them launch. I don't know why they call them launch, but they're engined boats. They still make them. And speed boats, canoes, and the wharves, and the ship that comes close to land on a Tuesday morning when it comes between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The ship comes in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It leaves Thursday evening, and it's packed with bananas. It's a ship headed for London. So our experience in Rockabessa was a banana town. So all of the bananas from around, Jacks River, Deers Mountain, banana walks from all across the western part of St. Mary would take their bananas to boxing plants, and they box them and send them in boxes in trucks and cars and van loads, head to the two wharves that we had. I grew up with two. Someone said there were 3 wharves, but I only grew up with 2 wharves. One was United Wharf and the other one was Standard Wharf. Rockabessa was a booming city, probably was the boomingest city in the whole island of Jamaica at the time. And so one of the beauty spots is to walk down on a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday morning, on a Thursday morning, going to school and looking at the barges and the boats and everybody moving banana. You should see the canoes. The canoes are so big, filled, stacked high with bananas, headed to the ship that's about a half a mile out. And you know, as I think about it, you would see trucks passing. You would see men and women passing with bananas, 2-3 bunches high on their heads, headed to the wharves, to drop these bunches of bananas and get paid for them at the same time. And you would see wives at like 11, 12 o'clock in the daytime walking, a whole lot of women walking towards the wharves where their husbands are working or their boyfriends are working, and they're bringing lunch in the 3-stack high canisters, and their what that thing, the thermos that brings their tea or their coffee. I mean, that must have been the most beautiful sight. And every time I think about it, it is such a nice thing to look at. And our school was positioned right there to see all of this activity going on. And if you can't see it, then you will walk down to the wharves and see all these activities. Oh my God. We had the ropers who owned the office, logistics, probably the single most important logistics office in the whole island was right there. Because Aracobesa was also known for the fruit company of the island, right? It's called Jamaica Fruit Company, where orange got shipped there. Orange, banana, grapefruits, tangerine, all of these fruits would be shipped to London right there in Aracobesa. Aracobesa was a big booming town. And so when I went to Aracobesa, to school, big school for the first time, this was primary school, now it was all-age school. Aracobesa all-age school. And when I walked down and I saw that, can you imagine a young boy walking into this beauty, right? The beauty of trade, the beauty of logistics, the beauty of just having a ship in front of you at 6 years old, looking at a ship for the first time, half a mile out, and all of these boats going and coming back. That took me, and that held my attention to this day, because I always thought it's probably the most beautiful sight that I'd ever seen. It is one of those things that you will never forget. And it happened there. So 1966 was the first time I went to primary school. So from 1966 to 1969, I went to school every week, and that's what I saw every week. Was just a standard beauty. Looking at that thing. So you had, as I said, trucks and vans and cars moving banana, people walking with banana to the wharves. And when you go to the wharves, Aracobesa had an island that was gobbled up by some new developments back in the late 70s, and I will talk about that later on. But that island sat right next to the United Wharf, so you could jump off the wharf and swim across to the island. Parts of the 28, 29 islands in the archipelago. And it's sad because we lost that island. But it was beautiful to see boys jumping off of the top of the wharf, the top. They would go on top and dive off into that deep water. The reason that the ship couldn't come in any closer was there's a long, probably 2-mile reef in Aracobesa that breaks all water. All of those waves that would come in to hurt us. That reef, about a half a mile offshore, you could, when you swim out there or you boat out there, you could actually go there and stand on top of the water. Just over, you're looking at 100 foot, because that ship had to be deep to come right next to that reef. So it came to that reef, and then they would set things to roll over to the reef to get the boats, the ship filled, ready to go out. So it was really a different kind of experience, a really beautiful experience for me as I go to school the first morning and witnessing what I call probably the most beautiful view. And we lost that too. We lost Banana in I think it was 69 or 1970, after they pulled up stakes. I don't know what happened, but we lost those two wars. And the Rockabessa just went dead for a long time. Right? Went dead. But that was my first day going to school, and I remember seeing the principal standing at the gate with a cane. And before we went to school, because one of the fears of going to big school, all-age school, was the principal, the headmaster at the time. They call him the headmaster, Mr. Henlin. And Mr. Henlin with the cane. You would hear about Mr. Henlin and his cane right around our Rockabessa. His cane is what he used to beat you if you're late. So you can't come to school at 1 minute past 9 and expect to go through without getting whipped. So Mr. Henlin would stand at the gate, and at 9 o'clock, if you are a second late, you're getting whooped. And that cane was hot. Jeez and peace, I got it 2 times. And it was really hot, but it sting. It has the end of it was very fine. And he had it, so it started big here, and it got smaller to the end. And that thing sting bad. You don't want to get the lick from that cane. And that was my first morning. I remember seeing. I didn't get beaten that morning, but because I remember my sister holding my hand, and we left home in my really straight, stiff khaki, could cut, and it was, the pants was at my knee. I was well oiled all the way down to my foot bottom, and I remember Sonia taking me to school, and she held my hand all the way. That was my first morning to school. Sonia, thank you very much. I don't forget that. You not gonna remember that, because I've got it as I remember how you took me to school. And so, just had to share that. Our Rockabessa was one of the boomingest towns on the island, and I got a chance to experience that. Leo, I'll be back.